Normal workplace behavior. You can't say you've lived until you're dead. That's what my father said to me, before blowing his brains out with a shotgun. One moment his head was there, and the next it was gone. All of it. Sprayed all over the air, covering the entire sky. He was right. Working in a cubicle isn't for everyone. It is everything to me. The job is easy. I simply type in letters and numbers. Doesn't everything revolve around letters and numbers? I press the keys on my keyboard, and just like that, my work is done. It's easy. It's normal. I have carefully selected my group of coworkers with whom I interact with the most. Peggy, the chubby girl who lusts after me. She is a revolting little thing, but knowing I could just snap my fingers and have her do my every bidding arouses me more than she ever could. I like that. Susan, the most intelligent and attractive woman on the floor. I like how professional she looks, how clever she sounds. I like the tone of her voice. I like how she takes the job seriously. She will likely rise to the top one day, unless she dies, unless she gets cancer. I hope she gets cancer. Peggy hates her guts, because she thinks I have a thing for her. I don't, but I like seeing Peggy try to outdo herself for nothing. It is entertaining. Tom, new blood, young kid, ambitious, looks up to me like I'm some sort of role model. Flattering, sickening, feels nice. Bob thinks he's better than me, wishes he could be me, wants to be me, wants me dead. He's worthless, yet he's also like a piece of shit stuck on my shoe. I know I can grind his face on the pavement whenever I want. Knowing this gives me great pleasure. They serve their purpose. Others have tried to insert themselves into our little group, but I tell them we cannot have that. I cannot have that. Peggy, Susan, Tom, Bob and I make 5. 5's a handful, I tell them. I do not need more than a handful. I do not want more than a handful. You should always keep a free hand. We don't talk much about the job. Number, we talk about death. Yes, everyone does. Everyone smiles. Wake up, turn on the news, see children's blown up limbs at a concert venue, drive to work, accident ahead, mangled body, take a picture, bathroom break, read obituaries, have a wank. We no longer pretend we care. Death concerns only the dying. Death is the new normal. This is normal. I am normal. Every day after work, we get together for our daily show and tell right before we leave. Peggy has a picture of a corpse found marinating in a tub for a couple of years. Good quality. You can almost smell the remains. Not very original. Tom shows us a video on his phone. Says he bought it on the dark web. POV footage, foreign language, kindergarten. Woman going around stabbing toddlers during nap time. I nod approvingly. At least he's trying. Bob brings us another execution lineup from overseas conflicts. Nothing we haven't seen before. Unimaginative. I feel insulted. Susan brings up her tablet. Video is titled Baby Jump 098 WMV. The camera is placed on a white marbled floor. Kitchen, most likely. There is a naked newborn on the ground, stomach up. A ladder is prepped up near it. It's crying. No audio, but we can tell. 20 seconds of this, followed by half a second of someone jumping on it with a pair of heavy boots. We only see the aftermath for about a second, before the video immediately loops back to the beginning. No matter. We watch again. 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 Susan easily wins the round. I applaud her. Peggy is upset. Susan blushes, says I haven't even shown mine. No need, I tell her. Because it's shit, ain't it? Shut up, Bob, said Peggy. I look at Bob. I smile back at him. You would know, considering you reek of shit yourself. Susan giggles before covering her mouth. Oh, he got you there, said Peggy. I cringe whenever she opens her mouth. Bob gives us a half-hearted laugh. Haha, careful now. You know I keep my baseball bat in the trunk, don't you? One of these days I'll... Every day is one of these days to you. That's why you'll never amount to anything. That's why you are one miserable, smelly piece of dog excrement. Take your shot whenever you want. I'd like to see you try." "Oh, snap," Peggy mumbled. I can tell that got her wet. I throw up a little in my mouth. Bob forces another ha-ha before leaving the office. Work is over. I head down to the parking lot in the basement. I do not take the elevator. I never take the elevator. I hate the elevator. Hate riding with others. Can't stand their smell, their touch, their mouth words. I take the stairs. I always do. Almost no one ever does. I like to walk, like to stretch my legs. I can move at my own pace. No interruptions. I can hear my footsteps. I can smell myself. I like the sound of me. I like the smell of me. Sometimes I think the stairs were made just for me. Gripping the railing always gives me a hard-on. I'm so hard I could fuck these walls back to the Stone Age, is what I think. I reach the last flight of stairs. Someone stands between me and the door to the parking lot. Number not standing. Sprawled out on the steps, briefcase wide open, personal objects scattered about. It's Paul from 2 floors up. Paul has made a mockery of my stairs. Paul has made a mockery of me. I walk down the steps, careful not to touch any of his filthy things. "Hello, Paul." Paul looks at me with wide eyes. He tries to speak. He is a sweaty, disgusting mess. His head is bleeding. Must have tripped. I look at my watch. I am 2 minutes ahead of schedule. I sigh. "What's the matter, Paul?" He is breathing heavily, hand holding his chest. He tries to get up, but can't. Tries to reach me, but I walk down a further step. "What is it, Paul?" He shakes his hand as he points to something on the ground. The sight of his mundane belongings is nearly enough to get me sick and lie down on the steps as well, but I would rather die. I see the insulin pen and understand. I laugh. Right. I remember. Then again, I had completely forgotten about your existence until just now. Paul motions me to get it for him. I laugh again. "I'm sorry, Paul. I already washed my hands and..." I look at my watch. "Yes, that's all the time I have. Nice not knowing you." I exit through the door and proceed to the parking lot. As I walk to my car, my senses are raped by a very familiar stench. I stop. Crack a smile. "I can smell you from here, Bob." I stand completely still. This isn't a problem. This is Bob. "Come to take your shot, have you?" To even consider that Bob could ever pose a threat to me in any way is beyond nauseating. I don't even turn around to face him. He is nothing. Nothing to worry about. "I haven't got all day, Bob. I have places to be. The back of my skull is right here." I tap on my skull with my index finger and leave it there, in case Bob needs directions. Silence. "First one's free, Bob. But if I'm still standing afterwards, you know that's it for you." More silence. Then, sounds of quick footsteps leaving the scene. "See you on Monday, Bob. I like to drive around for an hour or 2 after work. I don't like heading home right away. Nighttime is the right time." "I'm all right." So I drive. I turn on the radio, turn up the volume, sing along to the hits, punch myself in the face whenever I stop at a red light. Hard enough to feel, hard enough to bleed. The driver in front of me is being carjacked. A woman is pulled out of the car from the driver's seat. Loud screaming. Louder bang-bangs. They take her car and disappear into the night. They leave her in the middle of the road. They leave a problem for me in the middle of the road. Problems require solving. I exit my car and approach her. She's losing blood. She's dying. She looks stunning. "Where did you get that dress?" I ask her. She gurgles. "I see. Can you move to the side of the road?" She doesn't seem willing to facilitate things for me. I go back to my car and resume my drive. Hit a small bump on the road. No big deal. Got a new dress. I reached my destination after a while, got distracted by the music. Lots of familiar hits. I reach for the radio to turn it off. There's nothing there. Nighttime is the right time. I get home. The children are glued to the TV. They're watching The Lion King. They're singing along to the Hakuna Matata song. It means no worries for the rest of your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. I am momentarily entranced by the movie. Its shapes, sounds, and those other things. What are they called again? Right. Colors. I forget that they're a thing sometimes. Sometimes I forget about things, but it's okay. No worries. Those 2 words will solve all your problems. Hakuna Matata, I say. The children turn to face me. They are not my children. Do I even have children? I look at my hands. No ring. No worries. I grab the remote and turn up the volume. Hakuna Matata, I repeat. Sometimes I forget how children can be so full of color as well. Hey, Pumbaa, not in front of the kids. You can even paint entire walls with them. Back in my car, back on the road. I pick up a hooker. I try. She says I look like hell. I can't help but smile. But honey, I begin, as I show her the money, well over what she makes in a month. I feel like heaven. She gets in, tells me not to pull some psycho shit, or else. I laugh. Or else what? I ask. She shows me a butterfly knife, does fancy tricks. I laugh again, slam my fist against the dashboard. She jumps in her seat. The glove compartment opens up. You can hold on to that, I tell her. She's confused. Picks up the 6-shooter, checks for ammo. Fully loaded. Puts it back. Starts to undress. None of that, I say. I give her the money. All of it. I just want to talk. She's weary, but doesn't say a word. We stop someplace else. Old bridge. No traffic there. We step out of the car. Light them smokes. I tell her about my father. I tell her how we can't say we've lived until we're dead. Her turn to laugh. Doesn't get it, I explain. To live is to die. You can't live without dying. Only death can confirm life. Only through death can we say we have actually, really lived. Can't say you've lived until you're dead. That makes no sense at all, said the hooker. She doesn't get it. Wait, she continues. She walks over to the car, comes back with the 6-shooter, takes aim. I smile. So you can only say you've had a life if I were to shoot you? Right now? Like this? She seems to get it. I point to the middle of my forehead. Exactly, I say. She laughs. Flicks her cigarette over the bridge. Says she's done for the night. Walks off with the money. Leaves the 6-shooter behind. I tell her she can keep it. Doesn't want it. I tell her I can give her a lift. Doesn't want it. I ask why. She says I'm not normal. She said I wasn't normal. Did she say I wasn't normal? I am normal. I am normal. I am normal. I am out of bullets for the night. Don't remember where I live. Go back to the office. Back up the stairs. Take Paul's head with me. Take it to my cubicle. I sit down, start typing again. Normal work, screen is pitch black. As is the office. Right. Saturday. No power. No problem. I'm wearing a lovely dress. Normal. I can wait for Monday. Only normal. Can wait for my normal co-workers. Can wait to tell them about my normal day. I can wait. This is normal. I can be normal. I am normal. I place Paul's head in my drawer. Hakuna Matata Paul. Licks from a bear. August 1st, 2015, 9 a.m. It's been exactly 1 year since Jen left. That means it's been 1 year and 1 day since I was fired. I haven't worked since. I used to like the idea of being on disability, free money and all the time in the world to spend with her. I guess she didn't think of it that way. She was always ambitious. I shouldn't say was. Every day I see Facebook updates detailing her constant successes. The most recent one was her engagement. I'd never seen her look so happy. I guess I knew things with us were going downhill when I looked forward to our fights. She'd always say something about how I'm so smart, that I was smarter than she in fact, but that I had no ambition. It felt so good to hear that someone as brilliant as Jen thought I was smart, even though she yelled it at me in frustration. She claimed she understood my depression and my anxiety and how they were terrible roadblocks on the path to my happiness. I thought that meant she could empathize, and still wanted to be with me anyway. Apparently I was wrong. Getting disability benefits for my depression wasn't too hard. The money isn't great, but it pays the rent and keeps me fed. The only pain is that I have to go to therapy every week. I also need to go to monthly appointments to pick up prescriptions to help combat my depression, ADHD, and anxiety. It's also procedural and detached from anything resembling real care, so I'm a lonely, unemployable loser who apparently has this great mind. That's utterly useless. But I won't stay like this forever. I've discovered something new. Well, something old actually. Today begins my new life. The medication never worked. The therapy never worked. The behavior changes never worked. Medicine failed me. Or maybe I failed medicine. Either way, I'm taking control of myself again. I'm not going to be a victim of the barriers my body's put up for me. No more attention problems. No more depression. No more anxiety. For the first time in what may be decades, I'm filled with hope. August 1st, 2015, 3 p.m. All my tools are cleaned and ready. In about an hour, I'll start. I need to keep a pretty comprehensive journal of the procedure to make sure I'm not harming myself. I figure a running account of my experiences will give evidence of the positive or negative changes in both my mood and cognitive abilities. August 1st, 2015, 4:05 p.m. After I traced a dime-sized circle on the upper right part of my forehead, I used an X-Acto knife to carve through the skin. I wasn't prepared for how much this was going to hurt. I stopped a couple times to wipe away the tears so I could see well enough to continue. The skin lifted off from the bone without too much trouble once I'd finished cutting. I flushed it down the toilet. Now I'm waiting for the bleeding to stop. It seems to be slowing already. It's so weird to see my skull exposed like this. I'm going to write a sentence or two before and after each of the next steps so I can get as good a description as possible if this all works as well as I'm hoping. I opted to use a tiny drill bit over a single large one. A ring of tiny holes is going to take a hell of a lot longer, but I think the need for precision dwarfs time consumption in this case. I'm about to do the first hole. The first hole is done. Imagine the feeling of biting down on a fist-sized piece of tinfoil as hard as you possibly can, while your head hums, like it's filled with buzzing hornets. The vibration was so excruciating that I'm only now feeling the pain of the drill site itself. I'm going to do the next 10 or so holes now before I lose my nerve. The vibrations became less intense with each hole. The bone pain got much worse though. I've never had migraines, but I assume they must feel something like this. I'm shining a light at the ring of tiny bores and doing my best to inspect what's behind them in the mirror. It's not very useful. The remaining structural elements between the holes are extremely thin and brittle looking. I'm going to cut them away with the wire cutters. I just dropped a circle of my skull into the sink. Now I'm looking at the bright red membrane that's covering my brain. I'm a little surprised by how many blood vessels are in there. I'm going to put out a couple more towels. Cutting away the membrane is the part I'm most scared of. It's done, and the hole is bleeding a lot. I'm taking extra care to not put too much pressure on the organ itself when I'm working to soak up the blood. I'm feeling a little dizzy, so while I hold the towel to the hole, I'm sitting and eating the piece of steak and drinking the orange juice I'd put out just in case this happened. The wound is slowly starting to clot while I wait here. The whole area hurts, but the pain is second to the strong pulsing sensation around the hole. It's almost like I have a second heart beating there. The blood stopped pouring out, and I'm cleaning the area with water and rubbing alcohol. Now I can see my brain. It's gray. It doesn't look like it even belongs to me. I don't know why it all feels so surreal. It's almost like I'm watching all this happen to someone else. On the plus side, I'm not dizzy anymore, but I'm exhausted. I'm going to bandage everything and go to bed. I'll clean up tomorrow. August 2nd, 2015, 6:30 a.m. I woke up this morning with more energy and drive than I've ever felt. Even sitting here writing this feels like a joy. I'm not struggling to find words. I'm not dreading how I'll reread what I've written and think it's stupid and pointless. Everything just works. The accounts I'd read about people who shared their experiences with trepanation made similar claims, but even as I drilled the holes, I never allowed myself to truly believe it would work for me. Even now, I'm worried it's all just a placebo effect. The pulsating feeling is real though, and it's as strong as ever. That was something else my fellow trepanned mentioned. They said it was because the body is letting the brain grow again, something the skull had prevented after it hardened following infancy. I don't know if I buy the explanation, but I can't deny what's happening here. August 2nd, 2015, 2 p.m. My day's been spent cleaning the apartment. Over the last year, I'd let things pile up and grow increasingly filthy as my depression festered. Today, it's like a veil has been lifted and light is pouring over everything I lay my eyes on. The place needed to be cleaned, so I just set to work and cleaned it. It looks better now than it did when Jen and I moved in. My therapist recommended that I clean quite a while ago, suggesting that a nice open area would really help me see my home as a place for potential rather than stagnation. Now I know what he meant. This is what potential feels like. The hole in my head still hurts, and it looks terrible, but I expected as much. If I go out, I can wear a hat, and no one will notice anything amiss. I'm not ready to do that, though. I'm mildly concerned about how badly the site is beginning to itch as it heals. I'm being extremely assiduous in cleaning and caring for the wound as it heals, but I guess part of that process is that damn itch. I'm doing my best not to think about it. August 2nd, 2015, 11:30 p.m. The first full day of my experiment is about to end. I'm about to go to sleep, and I feel like I've accomplished a lot today. My home is spotless. I've finished a short story I'd been working on for the last couple months. I've gotten up to date with my internet and utility bills, and I even did a couple sets of push-ups. I had to remind myself to eat, though. For whatever reason, I wasn't hungry at all until I realized it was nearly 9 p.m., and I hadn't eaten all day. I'm chalking it up to my excitement. It's been hard to contain. But now I'm all showered and pajamaed and ready to end my day. I can't wait for tomorrow. August 3rd, 2015, 5:45 a.m. I was up before my alarm this morning to watch the sun rise from the roof of the apartment. Last night I slept like a log and didn't wake up once. I noticed some blood on my pillow and under my fingernails though, and I think I may have scratched underneath the bandage while I slept. I made a beeline to the bathroom to inspect the hole, and thankfully I didn't seem to do any damage. Everything appears to be healing well. August 3rd, 2015, 1:15 p.m. I don't know if it's endorphins wearing off or just an artifact of my depression, but my euphoric feeling has diminished quite a bit since this morning. I'm thinking it might be both. Maybe I need to have a good meal. There should be something in the fridge. August 3rd, 2015, 9 p.m. Whatever I felt this afternoon doesn't seem to have been a fluke. While my mood elevated for a little while after lunch, I was back to near baseline for the rest of the day and evening. The pulsing in the hole waxes and wanes with my mood. Interestingly enough. When I'm happy and ambitious, it pulses a lot. When I'm depressed, it may pulse once every 10 seconds. It may have something to do with my blood pressure, so I'll keep an eye on that. Before bed, I'll do some jumping jacks, and see if the pulsing returns. I'm fairly certain a higher pulse rate correlates with a better mindset. Just did the exercise. The pulsing is the same. My heart rate is up, but my mood is still low. I'm going to bed. August 4th, 2015, 11 a.m. I just woke up and I feel terrible. I was scratching the hole again. The pillow is soaked with blood and there are remnants of scabs under my fingernails. Tonight I'll wear gloves. That aside, my mood is still right near where it was before I started this process. I'm worried the surface area of my brain that's exposed isn't large enough to allow long-lasting effects. I don't trust myself to widen the hole that's already there, but I'm prepared to do another one an inch or so away. August 4th, 2015, 12:30 p.m. There was a problem with the second hole. I did everything just like the last time, but on the last tiny borehole, a crack formed in the skull between the original hole and the new site. I had to peel back the skin I'd left to make sure, but it was definitely there. I was forced to decide whether or not I should leave the broken piece, and I opted against it. Now I have an oval that's about 3 inches long and 1 inch wide. Removing the membrane from this part was difficult, and I had a minor issue with the blade slipping deeper than I'd wanted. Thankfully, the brain has no pain receptors. It couldn't have gone more than half an inch inside, and nothing weird happened to my body. So I lucked out and hit part of the 90% they say we don't use. I know people are saying that's a myth, but with what just happened to me, there must be some truth to it. August 5th, 2015, 8 a.m. No scratching overnight. The pulsing is there, but it's nowhere near as strong as it was the first time. My mood is still low. I have to be honest with myself here. I feel like a failure. This whole experiment is another example of me setting out to do something with good intentions and having it all blow up in my face. But I'm not going to be defeated by it. In the past, I would have stopped. Jen would have started a fight with me. And I just added to the never-ending cascade of fuck-ups that form my identity. Not this time, though. The increase in my ambition from this treatment must still be going strong, because I'm determined to see it all through. August 5th, 2015, 8 p.m. There are 4 more holes in my head. I didn't think I'd be able to do it. Toward the end of the last one, I almost passed out. I'm glad I had the foresight to keep a few sugar packets nearby so I could regain the strength to finish up. Besides the issue with my dizziness, these 4 went better than the prior 2. I used the left and right sides of my head this time, right above my ears. The skull was far thinner than on my forehead, so the vibration of the drill wasn't as excruciating. The blood loss was significantly greater, though, which explains the desire to pass out. I have hand towels wrapped around my head, so I won't get blood all over the place. Lucky for me, I'm a pretty quick clotter. That's a funny word. Clotter. August 6th, 2015, 6:10 a.m. I slept sitting up and awoke to major pulsing, not just in the new holes, but in the old ones as well. A small problem's developed with the second hole, though. I think it might be getting infected. The itching is unbearable, and I think it might be starting to smell. I poured rubbing alcohol on all the sides and pressed it in with clean towels, so hopefully that'll stop whatever's breeding in there. My mood was pretty high. Still not as good as the first day, but much better than the days after. I've been thinking about Jen a lot. We had so many things in common. We loved talking about animals and used to go off on tangents, where we'd discuss all the exotic ones we'd have when we were rich. Her favorite ones were rhinos. Mine were hippos. I used to tell her about the lake we'd have in our backyard, where my pygmy hippo would play with her baby rhino. After they'd gotten tired out, we'd invite them up to the patio, where they'd curl up next to one another, while we gazed adoringly at them and at each other. I wonder how she'd feel, knowing I've been doing all this work to better myself. She'd probably tell me to do more. August 7th, 2015, 12:35 p.m. I did more. All day yesterday, I drilled. I drilled and cut and pulled and peeled. I feel like I can take on the world. It's almost like that one time I did cocaine in college, but the effect has lasted far longer. I'll update again today if I have to, but for now, I'm going to work on some of my stories. August 9th, 2015, 9 a.m. Where have I been? Writing. Since the other day, I've gotten down 100 pages of a story I never even knew I had in me. Reading it over is like I'm looking at the work of someone else, someone far, far better. A stranger, I guess. On a slightly less pleasant note, there's definitely an infection in a few holes. One of them is weeping a gray liquid that smells terrible and all of them itch. When I rub them with the towel to try to scratch, they break open and start either bleeding or leaking clear fluid. I figure it's like a cold that has to run its course, but I'll be damned if it isn't becoming a problem nearly as bad as the depression was. August 10th, 2015, 7:40 a.m. I scratched in my sleep. I don't know what else to say other than it was bad. It's hard to tell from what I see in the mirror, but I might have damaged some of my brain in the holes of my forehead and left side. A small piece is hanging by a thread that looks like a tiny blood vessel. I tried to tuck it back under the lip of skull, but I had to press pretty hard to do it, and I'm worried I messed it up even worse. At least I saw a bear today. August 15th, 2015, 4:15 p.m. More holes for me. Shaved my head. No more hair. Lots more holes. Remember those wiffle balls from when we were kids? One day, I'll tell Jen how I thought my head looked like a wiffle ball. She always liked baseball and playing with my hair. My head infection was getting real bad before the bear came. Now he licks my head while I sleep and keeps the gross stuff out. Jen loves bears and rhinos. Every morning I have to clean under my fingernails a lot. Petting the bear gets them real dirty. It's nice the bear shaved when I did, so I didn't have to feel like the odd man out. Those pulses in my head are nice and strong all the time. It feels good. The bear licks me a lot when I sleep. Augs shajatvan, ketizer tizanot otezer. Scratch the bear by his ears, and he licks lots and lots. Lots of licks means a lot less itching. Jen would scratch my back when it was itchy. One time she saw me trying to scratch between my shoulders, using the door frame. She called me a bear, because that's what bears do when their back itches. 60 holes, going to cut out the spaces in between. Make my bear proud if Jen can't be.